everybody. Welcome to Outer Spaces Live. Gosh, those photos never get old. Hi, Terry.
Hey, how's it going, Orly? Nice to see you again for another Live Outer live
This is our monthly date.
live stream.
Yeah,
I know.
I know. I very much enjoy our monthly date. It's so nice. Soon they will be in person, which I'm very excited about, even if you and I are just going to get some coffee.
Well, hopefully next month we are able to do it in person, side by side.
Yeah, I know, 100%. Guys, welcome. We're so glad that you're joining us. I'm going to give all of you a couple of minutes to kind of get yourself situated, maybe grab a cocktail or a cup of coffee or a snack, whatever you want to do. But while all of you are here, we see some of you commenting. Everybody who was here last month, I want you guys to comment and say hi. We want to see some familiar names. We can see that full comment stream. So keep them coming because Terry and I can see everything that you're saying. And we love seeing some familiar faces. And I got to say, for those that are back from last month, the freaking funniest thing happened last month that proves that this is so very live. I swear your daughter tried to sabotage you last month.
I think so.
Can you tell me what happened?
I think the funny thing is, behind the scenes, it's like there's always stuff going on. Even before this, we're having technical issues. But last month, we did it on a weekend, and I was like, Piper, why don't you come join me on our live stream? And she's like, okay. She got excited about it. And she came on set, she grabbed one of my AirPods and put it in her ear. And then she started listening and then she got bored. And then she walked off. And once she walked off, my sound went completely dead. And then if you all watched, you saw that I had no sound for a little bit. And I think she was really embarrassed because after she realized she made the mistake, she did something like this in the couch. She was so embarrassed that she did that. I don't think you saw it. So yes, we try to practice as much as we can, but this is life. This is what happens. Yes,
exactly.
We can make fun of it now.
Exactly. Oh my God, it was so funny for all of you. We ended the live stream and Terry's like, I mean, seriously, it was so funny. It was so funny. But anyway, we are so glad that you guys are here. We're seeing so many familiar names. So thanks for coming back. And for all of you that are new, welcome. I want to introduce myself for those of you that are new. My name is Orly Shani. I am a DIY expert and a TV host. I have a YouTube channel called The DIY Designer where I do all sorts of really fun DIY fashion and home decor and styling videos. And I started off as just an outer fan. Then I became an outer customer, then a neighborhood showroom host, and now the co-host of Outer Spaces Live. Next, I'm just going to move into Terry's house. So things are going well on my end. Terry, would you introduce yourself to everybody who's new, who doesn't know who you are?
Of course. Yeah. So I'm Terry Lynn. I'm the co-founder of Outer. And my job is I'm responsible for dreaming up all the products that we do. My background is I went to Rhode Island School of Design. Basically, I live and breathe design. I've designed furniture for 20 plus years. So embarrassed to say that. But yes, so I do have a lot of experience. But yes, I dream up the things that we're able to offer to you.
Yeah. Which is so fun because it's always something super innovative and unique and smart, and I just love it so much. And so this is our show, Outer Spaces Live. Will you explain to everybody kind of what this is just in general?
Yeah, of course. So we did this because when we think about who we are as a company, there's a lot that we talk about, but the name implies exactly what it is. We come to you live from our outdoor spaces, and we talk about all things design, community, sustainability, and things that inspire you to get outside. We always set this mission of we know people don't get outside enough. We know it's healthy for you. How do we get you outside more? How do we make it easier to get outside? And our monthly live stream is just to talk about ideas about what's happening with customer mindsets and what we can do in terms of tips and tricks to get you back outside.
Yeah, exactly. And my favorite part is that it's never the same thing. So every single month, we sit down, the entire outer team and myself sit down and we come up with what should next month's live stream be? What should we focus on? What should we talk about? What are really amazing tips and tricks we can do? And there's always giveaways and sales and early access and product launches. So it's always really fun. But this month, since it's June, this is all about summer. I mean, we are officially in summertime. So it is the time to create that backyard oasis. Now is the time. So today is going to be all about sharing with you guys some tips and tricks that you can do to really make your space your space outside feel as cozy, as comfortable, as special as the spaces you have inside of your home. So we're going to be talking about all of that today. We are also going to be talking about our July event. This is a huge 4th of July event, the biggest event ever that Outer has done. And just because you guys are here, you have early access. So for everybody else, this won't start until Friday, but you guys will have access today. And at the end of this live stream, you'll get an email that will give you access to that link. It's a like a bundle event. So the more you spend, the more you save, up to $1,000 off, which is just absolute insanity. So cool. We are also going to be talking about Outer 101. Now, for those of you that are new, that maybe are coming because we have some fun brands involved today, but maybe you're new to Outer, there are 3 incredible collections. It all started with the OG. That is on the left there, the Wicker collection, the all-weather Wicker. That's what I have in my backyard. It's absolutely incredible. Then the Teak collection was rolled out, a brand new, gorgeous, modern, beautiful, warm teak collection. And the most recent addition, which I have out here on my front porch now, is the aluminum. So all 3 collections, we're going to do a bit of an Outer 101 if you're new and you want to know kind of what's special and unique about each one. And then lastly, we have an insane giveaway. It is the biggest giveaway that Outer and us here at Outer Spaces Live have ever done. So not only will you get a conversation set, which is 2 of the armless, and for this June event, we're doing the aluminum, which is what I have here, this sexy matte black beast right here. So you guys will get access to the aluminum. That will be the conversation set. And then all of these brands are involved today. So it's like a huge, amazing summer bundle. And all of the brands, like a community manager from each brand is here. So if you guys have any questions about what the products are, a little bit more, they're here to answer your questions. So get in those in the comment section because there'll be someone there to answer all your questions. Okay, Terry.
Basically, since they've RSVP'd, they're already entered, so you don't have to do anything.
Oh, thank you.
We'll announce the winner. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for saying that. Simply by being here, the registration link, when you put your email in, it added you into that giveaway. Right. Thank you. I forgot that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Terry, this next part, I'm already sweating because I'm so excited to talk about this. My mouth is dry. So Outer's community just gained like the coolest member ever, the coolest fan ever. And I can't say her name. God. I can't. I just can't do it because I'm too excited. Will you tell us who is now a proud
I
Outer
need
owner?
to drink too before I say it. So give me a second. Let me my mouth get moist. So I think it's probably like one of the biggest highlights in my career. And she really doesn't need an introduction. If I said, who is the queen of all things home? A lot of people may think of her. It's Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart is now
freaking Stewart.
She is now part of our community, and we're actually in early discussions that I fly out to her home and actually go meet her. So we're secretly talking about, can we get her on a Outer Spaces Live? So more to come on that. We'll see where it goes, but I'm truly honored to have her. Like, we talk about a stamp of validation that we're doing things that people like, especially Martha Stewart.
I love so much in the comment, I'm seeing IBBZO Kelly said, next will be Snoop Dogg. Oh, I freaking hope so.
I want Snoop. I know. I want to try to figure out what that connection is with Snoop Dogg. That's right.
Yeah, I know. But I got to say, the thing that's so cool about Martha is that Martha has such a beautiful eye for design, and she could have anything. That woman could have access to anything. There is nothing without her reach. So the fact that she chose Outer and kind of giving that stamp of approval is really major. Very, very cool and really exciting. And I freaked out when I saw it on Outer's Instagram. There's a little bit more press that I just want to mention because it's going to launch us into some cool topics today. I know you don't love talking press, but I love talking about when people are talking about Outer. And Apartment Therapy just did this amazing article. The article was 7 outdoor trends that are going to rock in 2021. And they specifically called out Outer as a must-have because of the sustainability and the versatility, 2 factors we're going to talk a lot about. Now, Terry, I know that sustainability was like a cornerstone when you and Jake were creating Outer. It has been part of your mission statement all along. Can you just share briefly, because we'll talk more in depth about it, but what it means to you, because it is such a big part of the company.
Yeah. I mean, I think sustainability is just kind of like in every single conversation that you hear, it's in the media. And for Jake and I, we both have young kids, and sustainability to us is, we always ask the question early on, before we even started Outer, which is what kind of world are we leaving for the next generation? And are we leaving it in a better place or a worse place? And what can we do to actually do it where it's the former, not the latter? And it really does, it is part of every single discussion that we have. Even, for instance, our neighborhood showroom. If you don't know what the neighborhood showroom is, it's basically we have customers that we turn into hosts, and they open up their space so that you can see how things are designed. But, you know, on the sustainability side, we thought, well, we know that people care about see, touch, feel, but the last thing we want to do is take up retail space where you have to deal with heat and air conditioning and electricity and people. And for, you know, in doing so, you're actually using up energy. And like for us, it's like we wanted to be able to show you outdoor furniture that actually works in the outdoors. So there's many reasons for it, but it bleeds all the way through everything we do. And that's just one example of how we do it with Neighborhood Showroom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I think it's such a cool thing, and it is really woven through all of the products, which are just expanding and expanding every month. It's so fun. So I want to talk a little bit about sort of building this backyard oasis. So for everybody watching right now, you know, this is obviously the perfect time. You are never going to use your space more than you're using it right now. So now's the time to really give it a little bit of TLC and turn it into that space that's going to give you some peace and joy and comfort. And we all have different elements. One of the biggest things I think that people do to make a space outside great is sort of bringing those creatures of comfort from inside out, bringing the cozy elements like the blankets and the pillows and the rugs and all the different elements that make it feel very much like an indoor space. And Terry, you and I have two totally different ways of doing this, the Terry way and the Orly way. I think the Orly way is much smarter. And guys, if you're watching and you think my way is smarter, once we both show you, I would very much appreciate if you vote in the comment section. I mean, you'll be voting for me, but still, just, you know, cast your vote. So I want to show you what I do. Now, I'm outside on my front porch, and like I said, I've got the new aluminum. I do this in the front and the back, though. What I like to do is keep everything out here at all times. So I take my pillows, I lay them down, and the outer shell, if you are new here and you don't know about the outer shell, this is one of the coolest parts of outer. It's a patented cover that's attached and built into the back. It just rolls up and over, and then down here, there's a Velcro that attaches to it in a handle. So if you did need to bring it inside, I will just leave them out here unless I'm getting, I mean, I'm in a covered porch, but if I get really crazy rain in the backyard, I can pick them up. That way, when I'm ready to come back out, I can either roll them up or just throw it up and over. It's up to you. Everyone does it differently. And then I've always got my elements out here, my pillows. So what I like to do is keep everything out here. And within each seat, I put a pillow, a blanket. There's always a secondary item that's a cozy comfort item that just gets wrapped up in the outer shell. So it's like the easiest thing ever. It's just one and done. Now, Terry, can you beat that?
I'll try. So here's what I do. And I think it's kind of funny because 2 live streams ago, we had Coco Cozy on. And in one small segment, she said something that is super insightful and really funny. And she said, like, as I get older, the things, I have way too many of 2 things, pillows and bowls. And while I don't have, I personally have too many bowls, I have too many pillows. And maybe on the next live stream, I'll show you a picture of our bench that's inside of where we actually keep the outdoor pillows. They're kind of cluttered. They're all over the place. But you know, I kind of think about my space more like I think about fashion, and I don't like it to be the same every single time. So, you know, some days I may pull out the pillows that are more modern and boho, or modern or boho, or kind of like this modern coastal, like that we've just launched. And it really is depending on my mood. So I actually prefer to have no pillows on, and depending on what I want, I will bring them out. And how do I do that? I'm all about this idea of woven baskets, or any kind of baskets. Like this one is a woven basket, but all kinds of baskets where it's functional and it's stylish. And what I do is I just bring out these baskets. You can see we have some outdoor throws as well as blankets, and I bring them out and I use them as needed. And at the end of the day, when I'm done, I will bring them back in, and maybe the next day I'll switch it up and I will bring out something completely different. So to me, it's really about the flavor of the day, and then having a vehicle to be able to transport things. And to me, it's all about baskets. It serves as 2 purposes, the aesthetics as well as the utility of being able to move things in and out.
I love that so much. And, you know, I got to say, I just saw Gianna Prescott is saying, I love the pillows. And I just want to mention a couple of the reasons why I, too, am obsessed with the pillows. So these are the brand new outer pillows. If you were with our live stream last month, then you saw we gave you a sneak peek. They weren't available. They literally became available yesterday. So yesterday they are on the site. You guys can have access to them now. But there are a couple elements that are just so very outer, why I love them. Number one, they're machine washable. They have an invisible zipper, so you don't have a bulky zipper. It's totally invisible, which as someone who sews, I can tell you that's not the easiest thing to do. It's beautiful. So there's an invisible zipper, so you can take the insert out and just chuck it in the wash so they always stay clean. Another thing that I really love is the way that you guys design them, Terry, is it's a consistent mix of the same color palette and fabrics done in this sort of modern patchwork so that they can all work together. So no matter what pillows you have, they're all going to work. And my last favorite thing, which is just too smart, is that they're reversible. So if you don't want as many patterns and you want solids, you could flip solids, you could flip patterns, whatever you want. So even within the one collection, you have that versatility that you were just talking about, Terry, of kind of having something fresh and new all the time. And one more thing I just want to mention before I forget, sorry, Terry, one more thing before I forget, is that another part, one of my favorite ways of bringing the comfort outside is an outdoor rug. I have the huge outdoor rug in my backyard, which is my absolute favorite. It really does a lot to like anchor the space and feel comfy. And the outer rug is called the 1188 because it recycles 1,188 water bottles. It's so cool, but it's soft and it's made with all these different colors. So you never notice like dirt or stains. I've had it out there through rain and wind and dust. So something like that, a rug, the pillows, those are all the things that really start to anchor that space. Sorry, I cut you off, Terry.
Yeah. No, yeah. So no, that's great. I was going to say that, you know, kind of going back to what I said, which is I have a lot of clutter with my pillows on the bench where all the pillows sit when I am not using them. And as you mentioned, they are the inserts. They're basically inserts and covers. And, you know, the way we're designing it is, you know, if you want to do what I do, and everything I try to do is I try to design for what I think is best. The idea is like, after you buy a set of pillows, you now have the inserts. And in the future, we're just going to sell you covers. And think about how many covers you can fit in like a Rubbermaid container. And then you can basically switch it out like I do over time.
Yeah, no, I think that's really smart. Terry, there's actually a really great example, I think, that we have right where you're sitting right now, which is the ultimate explanation of, you know, the difference it makes when you give a little zhuzh and a little love. Can you talk us through this?
Say that again. A little zhuzh and love with what?
With like the details, with the styling, with the blankets and the pillows and the plants, all those things that, you know, this is the outer roof. This is what it looked like for months when you guys were working from home.
Yeah, so a lot of what I think about, there's a lot of similarities when you think about food, fashion, and home furnishings. If you just think about like what makes things special, there's similarities. So for food, when you think about it, what makes an amazing meal is kind of the balance of all of the flavors that you have. So there's sweet, sour, salty, spicy. In clothing, why don't you talk about clothing? Like what, like when you are putting together outfits, you think about like how you layer. What are those things that you do?
Yeah, you know, it's so funny. I always have my basics. I have those basic pieces that I'm building my outfit on. And then I think of them like adornments. Sometimes it's jewelry, sometimes it's a lipstick color, sometimes it's something else, but it sort of sets the tone for the vibe I want to feel, the way I want to feel. And I would assume that's very much, you know, when you pick which basket you're bringing outside, you're picking your vibe, you know?
That's right. So yeah, in this photo, what you see is starting in March of last year, like everyone, we stopped coming to the office. And everything went dormant, including our roof deck. And what you're seeing is where I'm sitting right now. And, you know, months have passed. It's almost a year. And we came up like, we got to give this some love. And taking the analogy of what I said about like looking at what makes a great meal or what makes a really great outfit, you do the same thing when you think about home furnishings. So with home furnishings where, you know, it might be sweet, sour, salty, spicy for food, for home furnishings, it's color, it's texture, it's silhouettes, it's visual weight. And as you start thinking about those things, that's how you create the layers. And that's what makes it interesting. So here in this photo, what you see is a pretty bare bones outdoor space. We have the basics. We have your rug, we have a coffee table, and then we have the frame. And here's some examples of like how we apply what I said with the different textures and colors and silhouettes and weights. So, you know, we bring life back with the greenery. The table now has a tray on it. We have hurricane lanterns. And, you know, a little tip that I think, like, if you want to make your space Instagram worthy, yes, you have to have the basics like the rug and the sofa, but I think there are 4 things that you really need. I think a tray for your coffee table, pillows, outdoor throws, and like in this picture, a hurricane lantern. So you have some things. So if you do something like that, you are going to transform your space from something that is kind of like ordinary to something really special.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I think it's such a great example. The before and the after here is such a great example of the little bit, all you really need to kind of, you know, make your space feel special. Now, there's another element that is woven throughout outer everywhere, and it is the modularity. In Apartment Therapy's article, they had talked a lot about outer being so versatile, and that was a big reason why it was such a must-have for everybody. It is a completely modular system. So every single outer shipment is a custom sofa. I know you have, Terry, you have this like dream of like a extra large, oversized, really epic sofa. Can you talk about why that's so cool to you?
Yeah, so like you know, like I always think when I think about furniture, there's like over the top furniture that's like you look at it and you pause, you're like, wow, that is really cool. And here's an example. We have an 8-piece sofa. You know what? A sofa, an average size sofa is around 86 inches. What you're seeing here, this 8-piece is 161 inches. And the way I think about, like, how do you create these memorable over-the-top moments? Like, where do you see something like this? You probably see it when you go on a fabulous vacation and you stay at a resort and you see either an outdoor space or a lobby, you have something like this. Really hard to create. You certainly can't create it with something that is not modular, and we can do something like this. And a lot of what I believe, you know, when you think about like, we just got back from vacation, I see this idea where we were squarely in one, we swung one way, it was all about experiences, and then the pandemic hit, and we were all about the home. And what I see in the future is this idea, and I've talked about it, which is ROE, return on experience, where you now will start going on vacation like you're probably doing, and you want to try to recreate those experiences. And you know, when you're thinking about outdoor spaces, this is a way to do it, using modular furniture to create these really over-the-top moments.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it allows for never-ending customization, and not only customization the first time around, but a ever-evolving customization. You know, I have 2 outers. I've got the aluminum set on the front of my porch. I've got a 4-piece L, which I'm obsessed with. I'll show you a little bit more about that later in Outer 101. But I also have the Wicker. Now, I have recently adjusted my Wicker, and I did it all by myself, no help from my husband. Thank you very much. And I'd love you guys to see how easy it is to reconfigure and how instantly it transforms into a totally new space. So take a look at this video.
So this is how my original setup was. I've got the 3-piece sofa and the 2-piece conversation set facing each other. But more recently, I switched it to this to incorporate some more outdoor seating. And now I'm gonna rearrange this to make an L shape and fit my Wicker armchair. So you can see how easy it is to slip and slide everything around. I'm moving my corner piece out so that I can fit another armless piece in. And this is giving me a 4-piece sofa. Could leave it at that, but I wanted to create the L. So I added my other conversation set to the end, and I'm not quite done. Here is that gorgeous Wicker chair, you guys. It's amazing. I love it so much, and it's sort of in its own space, having its own moment. It's very fabulous. Now, here is another corner piece. If you decide to make an L, what you'll get is a conversion set, which is basically a classic corner piece, except it comes with 2 pillows, a regular size pillow, and then a little mini pillow that actually allows you to create the corner. Right there, there it is. So basically, I'm now able to put 2 pillows that create a perfect L shape. I'm opening everything up, stylizing it, and you can see it creates this huge, gorgeous area to lay back. The Wicker chair has its own sort of like loungy moment. I'm obsessed.
I mean, it was so fun to do. It was so fun to do. And that's one thing that just for all of you watching, we're going to get into your questions. We're seeing all these questions come in and we're going to get into them right now. But just for all of you to be really creative, as you're looking, as we're talking about this, as we move on into the Outer 101, really imagine how you could take every one of these pieces and not only customize it to your space, but customize it for your events. Separate the seating into like an epic outdoor movie theater, whatever you want. It's so easy to do, so it really lives and breathes with you. But I'd love to get into some questions now. So let's take a look at a couple of these questions. This is my favorite. All right, first question. Wondering if the aluminum frames get hot to the touch. Living in the South, I worry about that in the summer months. Thanks.
Yeah,
Terry, will
they
you
do.
take that one? Because I have the aluminum, but it's under a covered porch.
Yeah. So yes, I mean it's metal. Metal does get hot. So we actually did look into coatings that reduce the ambient temperature, and what we found was it actually didn't reduce it enough. So like metal, ours does have that, the ambient temperature raising. So that's actually why we have the different types of collections, depending on your environmental conditions.
Yeah.
Something might make more sense than another. So yes, the aluminum, the metal does get hot.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's take a look at our next question. All right, this is from Vicky H. Is the maintenance more or less with aluminum? Has it hold up compared to the teak or wicker? That's all you, Terry.
That's a great question. And, I think of aluminum is probably the most easy to maintain. And the reason it's so easy to maintain is because it's all flat stock. There's no nooks and crannies, as I call it, when you think about like what the wicker is. There's the weave in and out. So in both cases, it doesn't take much more than hosing it off. But let's just say you have some more dirt. So you might actually have to take a scrub brush and scrub it out. So there's maintenance there. And with teak, there is maintenance. It is an organic material. And with organic, like if anyone owns a boat that has a teak deck, you do have to maintain it. So, if I think about maintenance, the most easy to maintain is aluminum. Next is all weather wicker, and then it's teak.
Oh, that's perfect. I love that breakdown. Very nice. All right, let's see our next question. All right, Annette D. Are the pillows machine washable? I'm taking that one. I'm taking it, Terry. They 1000% are machine washable because they have a zipper. So it's an insert. And that's what Terry was talking about, that, down the road, they'll have the covers available without the inserts. That way you can switch and swap and do whatever you want with them. But they absolutely are machine washable. Just unzip, throw it in, pop it back on. But it also does have that fabric that's really good. It's like sun and fade resistant. So it's going to stay looking like this forever. I mean, it has such a long life. And it's that outdoor fabric that you can kind of just like dust off,
That's right.
So 100% machine washable. They're fantastic. All right, let's see. Do we have another one? We're burning through these.
They have the same UV light fast rating. So yes, they are totally rated for the outdoors. They won't fade like many of the pillows you see if they're sitting outside after a season fades. These will not.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have ones that, I threw them in the trash. All right, Linda Gormley, I like that idea. In April and May, we get massive yellow pine pollen. Are the sides covered to keep the pollen off? So I'm assuming she's talking about the outer shell.
The outer shell, yeah. So yes, you do have the problem of it getting pollen on it. And oftentimes, if you watch some of my videos, you'll see that I did tests. I've done all kinds of tests. I've done it with gummy bears. I've done it with chocolate. I've done it with condiments, ketchup, mustard, barbecue sauce. Well, you'll see a video with what Orly does, but oftentimes it just takes hosing it off, or if you need, you can throw it in the wash. And then we do have added protection, which it's like full protection of the frame, which is an all-weather cover.
Yes, the all-weather cover is incredible. It's so easy to put on. You guys did something that nobody does, which is has a zipper on the, I think it's the far right or the far left corner. And so
depending on how you're facing it, yeah. If you're facing it, it's on the far right.
Yeah. Okay, and then it goes on, and then it goes on really easy. You're not like fighting with it, and then you zip it for a really tight seal, and so everything kind of washes off it. But one thing that I'd love to say as a recommendation that I actually got from Tabitha, who started off as an outer customer and became an outer employee, she was on our live stream last month, is that she uses her an air what's it called? A leaf blower. So I bought an electric leaf blower, because I leave my white open all the time, and I just come out every other day and I just blow the dust off so it doesn't have time to settle in. So blowing some of that pollen off instead of brushing it would be key.
Yeah. And that's actually
so
a great tip. Yeah, because oftentimes you'll take a rag and try to clean it off, and by doing it, it's actually counterintuitive because you are rubbing whatever that stuff is, pollen, into the fibers, making it harder to clean.
100%. All right, well, that was our last question. Now we're going to move on. I want to remind all of you guys about a couple very, very exciting things. So number one, the 4th of July event. This is the big kahuna, my friends. And you have access 48 hours of early access before anyone else. So you can snag it all up if you want. It's a bundle type sale. So the more that you buy, the more that you save, up to $1,000 off, which is just unheard of. Outer never does that. This is an amazing, amazing sale that they're doing. This is so cool. And so if you've been thinking about Outer and you've been thinking about getting this space and you wanted to do like the rug and the new tables and the, you know, the full couch, do it all now because you're going to get the biggest savings now. And then just a reminder for the very end of the show, we've got our amazing giveaway. This is a $5,000 value. This is the biggest giveaway we've ever done. Not only will you get the conversation set, the aluminum conversation set, but it's this incredible bundle, this amazing bundle. There's kombucha and sunglasses and clothes and a weekender bag and yard games and all sorts of fun stuff. If you have any questions about any of those brands, you can comment them. Someone will be here to answer all of those different comments. Now, we're going to move into what is very quickly becoming everyone's absolute favorite segment of Outer Spaces Live, which is the before and afters, the very real before and afters. So what we love to do is share with you guys a real customer who went through the process of a design consultation. So if you aren't aware, Outer has a totally complimentary design consultation. It's a completely complimentary service. Anyone can do it. All you do is head over to the website, click on the tab, submit, and a designer from Outer will reach out to you. And you will go through the process of figuring out what the best configuration is for your space. And so we love to share some of these photos of very real design consultations here because you guys can actually get a sense of what it's all like. So let's take a look at this. Our before and after today is with Jeremy Madewell. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He bought a brand new condo that had this really great roof deck. And the roof deck is actually one of the main reasons he wanted to buy the condo. I completely get that. When I lived in a city, I lived in New York, the roof deck was like it for us. We loved it. So you can see it's a really beautiful space. There's even an outdoor kitchen, but it's completely empty. So he talked with the designers, and let's take a look at the options they gave them. The designers said that what he really wanted was the ability to entertain a lot of people. So they thought that an L would probably be the best setup. And because it's modular, he could adjust it if he needed it for different reasons. But you can see there, this is the same exact amount of pieces configured in 4 different ways. That's the benefit of the modularity. And that is one reason why the design consultation can be so valuable, because the team at Outer are the people that know more than anyone all the ways that you can use it. They really think outside the box. So you will get a design like this. And then let's take a look at what he ultimately went with. Oh my gosh. Is that like a drone shot? Look how fancy this is.
I think it is a drone shot. You know what's beautiful about this? And I think many of us fall in the same trap, which is that, you know, like you think, oh, I have an outdoor space. I'm going to get a sofa and maybe a coffee table and I'm good. And I see that so often, and you look at it and it just doesn't look loved. And take that to your family room. If you did what you did to the outdoors and don't have a rug and all you have is a sofa and no pillows, does that look inviting? And it really is just like, try to think about what makes your family room comfortable and copy it. That's really all it takes.
It's beautiful. Not only is the setup that he did really great, and again, obviously the ability for modularity there. Can we see that photo one more time? Because I just want to like really soak that in one more time. But see, what I love is because that space is so big, like I'm envisioning putting up a projector against that back wall and moving all those seats around for an outdoor movie night. Everyone has their own luxe seat. Like there's so many opportunities here for this space to continue to evolve over time. But the setup as is everyday usable. And again, for those of you that are new that don't know all these little details about Outer, the one thing I just want to remind is that this is up on the roof. It will be in the blaring sun. All of the materials are going to withstand that temperature, that heat, that sun, those elements. The cushions can be covered every day with the all-weather covers. It's Chicago, so once it gets cold, he'll get the full-on all-weather cover that he can zip. So outer shell for daily use, you know, so it's just the easiest thing, which is the reason that I love it so much. That's a good before and after. I'm stoked. Jeremy, well done. All right. So Terry, are you ready for some Outer 101?
Well, let me, before we do that, I want to talk about the design consultations a little bit, about kind of like, you know, if you're interested in doing it, I was just going to tell you, like what information do we need to help you create that Instagram worthy space. So I was just going to give you like some tips. And I think, Orly, what you said was really what I care about. Like, how do you tell us, like, be explicit of what you're looking for? Maybe, for example, it's like, I want to hang out at my hot tub with a bowl of popcorn watching a football game. Or I want to hang
Yeah.
out in the middle of the winter and be warm and see snow falling, or, like the obvious ones, like I want to be able to hang out with friends. Yeah, sure. I want to go read a book, but like the more explicit you are, the more we're able to actually design a space that you want. And it's really about like thinking about how many people do you think are mainly going to be using the space we know to design for that? What are the activities you want to do? And of course, there's the obvious, which is how big is your space? Are there any architectural elements that we need to consider? What is the focal point? And when I say that, it's like, do you want to look out onto the vista of a mountain, or do you want it to face your family room so it makes your indoor-outdoor space look even bigger? So like those are the things that as you're thinking about your outdoor space, the more you're able to articulate those things and come to us, we're able to create a really great space for you.
And then Terry, what are the requests that they'll need as far as like information, photos, like what will the design team actually need so that they can get prepared in advance?
Yeah, so I think photos are key, because oftentimes like I have a space that's this big and you'll see a pole going down the middle. That's like an architectural element. And like I said, activities, dimensions, and photos. Those are the things that really help us be able to have that conversation to understand like how do we want to design the space that suits the needs that you want to do.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, let's get into Outer 101. Because I love this so much. I think that each collection is so uniquely different for different reasons. And I'd love, to kind of get into this and talk about all the things that make each one totally unique. So one thing right off the bat is the cushions are the same for all three collections and fit all three collections. And they have their own amazing story. And we're going to talk about that after we talk about the three bases. But for now, I'd like to talk about the frames. So let's talk about the OG, as I like to call it, the all-weather wicker, which is what you're sitting on.
Yeah.
Now, the all-weather wicker, is really known. There's the three, right? We've got the all-weather wicker, then we've got the teak, and then we've got the aluminum. These are the three collections. We're going to start with the all-weather wicker. I know that one of the biggest things that people love about it is that it has a really cool sustainable story. Can you give us a little brief explanation of what it is?
Yeah, so the frame itself is made of a combination of three materials. It's made with aluminum. And then the wicker that we use is a combination of a low density and high density polyethylene. And then actual stainless steel. So when you think about sustainability, it's made of those things. With our all-weather wicker, we actually use 30% recycled content, which translates into about 100 bottles. We talk about like a 12.1 ounce bottle. So yes, it is made with that. The wicker is round core, so it's round. You could choose any kind of shape. There's flat. Oftentimes flat is a little bit not as structural. It could crack, it could dry. So it is round core. It gives it some of that texture. The color is I've always thought about it as like a sun bleached teak. Like there's something beautiful to me about kind of like a sun kissed looks. So ours is like we wanted to try to achieve that look. It has that natural look, but because it is all made with a synthetic material, it doesn't change over time.
Yeah, and as you were talking. Oh no, continue.
Oh,
I was going to say, as you were talking about the element of the, we're 1 second behind each other.
I know.
I was going to say, as far as the durability, you were kind of talking about the rounded weave and how others crack. That is such a huge thing. Others crack. I have an old one by my pool. Can you explain this story? Because this is one of my favorite. I feel like this is like an outer myth, but it's real.
Yeah. So back in 2018, when we were working on the frame, we came up with a lot of prototypes. And when we finally got to one that was, okay, we got this, I was like, okay, take this frame and stick it on the roof. And the team was like, what do you want us to do? I was like, stick it on the roof. I was like, what are you going to do on it? There's no place to put it. I was like, just stick it on the roof. So they put it there and like, why do you want to sit on? You're not going to sit on this thing. I'm like, no, it's not for sitting on. It's for durability testing. And where our factory is, let me think. It's probably like, I would say it's kind of like conditions of like the Northeast. You have hot summers, cold winters, like it's humid. And just having those environmental conditions for us, it's like that long range testing is what we've done. It's been sitting there since 2018. It's gone through almost 3 years now of testing, and the frame looks the same way it looked when we put it out there. So like, you know, we're
Yep.
continuing to do those long range tests, but it is sitting up there very lonely.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Another thing that I really love about the Wicker collection is it's actually really versatile. Like the style of it with just a different details like your pillows, your blankets, the aesthetic of your house, it can really
Yeah,
transform.
that's right.
It's like a chameleon. How was the design? Why did you design it in the way you did so that it actually
Yeah,
created that? I mean, I assume it's
yeah.
amazing.
So if we go back to that analogy that I've talked about of like balance, so food, sweet, salty, sour, spicy. I thought about the frame. Everything I think about is all about like that creative tension. And when I say creative
Yeah.
tension, if you look at the frame, it's pretty modern in design. It doesn't have a roll arm. It's actually called a shelter arm. The arm is the same height as the back, which is what makes it modular. But take away the all-weather wicker and just look at the frame, and it's very modern. Add the wicker to
Yeah.
it, and now you warm it up a little bit. And then if you look at the size, the proportions are really big. It is a big sofa. It's 102 inches for a 3-seat sofa. And because it's wicker and it's woven, there's a lot of volume to it. Really
Yeah.
architectural, so it looks big. And then if I think about, okay, now it's heavy looking, it's textural. How do you lighten that up? So our legs are cast stainless steel, and they are pretty slender. So it gives it that shine. And then, you know, that balanced with the matte texture of our wicker. It's always about like, if we're gonna go in one direction, how do you go the other? So modern frame, classic skinning of it with our all-weather wicker. Heavy
Yeah.
looking thing, visual weight, as I've talked about it, balanced with the lightness of these legs that actually make it look like it's floating. So a lot of what I think about has to do with like, I never want to go one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes
Who
perfect
doesn't?
sense. It's like how you build an outfit. If you're doing a really short skirt, you don't show a lot on the top, you know? You balance it out. I like it.
That's right.
Um, I know you relate to my short skirt comment. Okay, let's talk about Teak because this was
Yeah,
when this product launched, you know, we revealed it here on the live stream. And when this product launched,
yeah,
people
yeah,
went completely nuts. Teak is one of those
yeah,
materials I think that almost feels elusive to people. It feels like, you know, it's like so, you want it so bad. It's so aspirational. There's a lot of
yeah,
things that you guys did within this Teak collection, not only to
yeah,
make it the best quality, but also
yeah.
to be really conscious. So there's a whole sustainability
That's right.
story that's completely different from the wicker. Can you explain it? Because it is
Yeah,
so freaking cool.
yeah. If you think about the palette of materials that are suitable for the outdoors, you know, there's the metals and then there's woods, and even with woods, there are woods that people use that will not last you that long. Teak is one of those that it's been time tested and it lasts a long time. But then on the flip side, when you think about sustainability, it's like we know that deforestation is it basically contributes to climate change. So how do we do something where we're using the best materials, but we are countering the effects of climate change? And what we do to do that is for every log that we harvest, the teak farm plants 3 saplings in its place. Furthermore, what we do is we've partnered with One Tree Planted, and for every chair that we sell, we plant 15 saplings. So we're trying to propagate as much as we can, and really kind of focus on the whole
15.
efforts of reforestation. That's right, 15.
Yeah, 15 is major. I mean, that's just the one of the things that I love so much is that you guys don't just like say the thing so that you've got the like, oh yeah, 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 we're planting trees. It's like you are really doing it so that it has a real
Yeah,
difference. There's also a lot about, yeah, good. Let's get over and
I mean,
see. I mean,
we're
it's so, the
exhausted.
design of this is so beautiful. I know that, you know, some people will be nervous about actually maintaining it, and we are seeing a bunch of questions here about, you know, what's the right way to maintain teak? How should you care for it? People concerned about
Yeah,
pests, all those different things. Can you walk us through
yeah.
some of it? Gosh,
Of
it's
course, yeah.
pretty.
So a couple things, like when you think about what material, what frame is best for you, there's definitely a lot of things to think about. And so when you think about all-weather wicker, aluminum, and teak, aluminum and all-weather wicker are inorganic materials. What does that mean? It means they don't change over time. You know, what you get is what you get. It doesn't change. Teak is an organic material, and like nature, it changes over time, depending on how sunny it is, you know, humidity, dryness, things expand, they contract, and people that like teak have to, I would say, like that it ages. And when I say ages, like the first thing you know is right now it is this honey color, and for most of you that have seen, it does change. It changes from this color and it starts graying, or it goes to like a silvery gray patina, and you have to be okay with that. And the way I think about it, I'll give you an example. My in-laws, they have a dining table, and the dining table is made with planks for a ship, and it's got a rustic look, and you see some paint on it, you see some dents and dings, and that's what I think is beautiful about it. It's a natural material that has a story, and with wood there's going to be a story. And like, if I use the example of the table, what I love about that, I would prefer a rustic table rather than like a perfectly glossy table, because it's lived in. And where something's, for instance, a red wine stain on a table, someone's like, oh my God, I have a red wine stain. But the other way to look at it is like, oh my God, look at this stain. That was when we had way too much fun and had that amazing bottle of whatever it is. And to me, it's like wood will always give you a story. It changes over time, whether it's your hardwood floors and you stand in one area and it wears out. Wood is just wood, and that's what happens. So you have to be okay with that. It does change over time. It ages, whereas others don't.
Yeah, yeah. It ages beautifully. And there's also something you talked about with the actual quality of the teak that you use.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Because there's not only a difference in the quality and how strong and durable it is, but also I think it was something, maybe if I remember, talking about like oils with like pests, different things that actually make this. All teak is not alike. Basically,
it is not. No, it's not. Teak, when they look at lumber teak, it's graded. It's graded A, B, C. A being the best, B, and then C. And typically on a log, you get about 20% yield for grade A. So about 21% of a whole log is the only thing you can use for grade A. And what makes it grade A is basically the grain, the consistency of color, and then the oil content. So when you get a higher grade, what you see is, in here you see like a consistency with color. Sometimes you'll see where it goes like dark, which means high oil content, to lighter. And that lighter means that there's less oil content. And the oil content, as you said, is the thing, because there's so much oil, it actually prevents pests from actually invading it. So it is the thing that actually you don't get any kind of infestations with pests. But yeah, grade A, sometimes just as you look at teak, a couple things to consider is, oftentimes you'll see we use grade A teak, and then in fine print it'll be like, and we use grade B on surfaces that are not visible underneath. And what does that mean? It means you'll see more knots, you'll see more color variances. But so there's not, like you said, all teak is not equal. They're graded in a certain way. So just a consideration.
And Terry, it sounds almost to me, it reminds me a little bit of like when you talk about like hardwood flooring, where sometimes it'll be like, maybe a white oak veneer, but inside it's just like pressed plywood, as opposed to solid oak, right? So just the difference there for people to consider as far as strength is concerned.
And that's actually a good
let's
point.
move on.
Oftentimes, I was going to say, like, just when you look at some woods, oftentimes you will see where they're glued together to make chunkier pieces. It's not a solid piece. So another thing to consider, like oftentimes they are laminated together when you're actually looking out, it's constructed. These are all solid timbers.
Solid. Beautiful. Okay. Last but not least, because damn it, is she sexy. Aluminum. I am frocking obsessed with the aluminum collection. That's mine right there. That's a little pseudo wide shot. I'm not revealing the whole porch because I'm going to do a nice big porch reveal coming up soon, but that's it right there. My kids look at my daughter. She thinks she's the freaking Queen Sheba.
She's the queen
welcome
of
to my
your front porch.
Welcome to my domain. But this is, I am obsessed with the aluminum. We have it here under a covered porch. And there's a couple things that I'd love to say about the aluminum. Number one is it's really lightweight and it comes in one piece, which means it's so easy to put together. I mean, the all-weather wicker, all you're doing is attaching the legs. So it's not like a whole big spiel, but this is all one piece and it's super lightweight. So the modularity, moving it around, is great. There's all of these amazing elements, about it. There's one thing that I actually want to show, because on mine, I have an L, but what I decided to do was to take another corner piece and put it right here and actually not put a pillow. So, it was a corner, so it came with a conversion. It came with another mini pillow, but I left it open so that it acts as this really beautiful detailed armrest. So on this side, I have it, but over here, I don't, because when I walk up to the front of my porch, I don't want this. I want this to feel nice and open. So I didn't do one here. So I've got my corner there and my corner there, and it acts as this amazing, like, detail. This, and I think that's one thing, is that it really looks so amazing from all sides.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Like when we've designed the collection, a lot of the philosophy that went into it is like we think about automotive design. And when you think about automotive design, it's always about like how do you design so it looks good all around. So, like we've designed it so it looks good from the front, side, back, top. And, psychologically, there's another part to why we've designed it the way it does. Like, and we mentioned it on a live stream with your mom, and she said something that was really interesting, which is, you want it to look good when you're sitting on it, but you also want it to look good when you're inside looking out, because you wanted to actually make it draw you outside.
Yes.
And so we've designed it in a way where there's principles to like how we think about the proportion and the styling. And like, I think of it as streamlined. So streamlined, meaning when I think of a lot of furniture, outdoor furniture, oftentimes the back is distinct from the seat. And usually there is a brace or an apron that goes across that connects the slats. And with ours, both our teak and our aluminum, you can see it is actually one continuous piece. So the back seamlessly transitions into the seat frame. So it has, the back legs are kicked out. So there's elements to make it look sturdy, elements to make it look like it's streamlined.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, it's so cool. And all of these three, the wicker, the teak, and the aluminum, are finished off, the cherry on top, with the incredible outer cushions. Now, like we said, the outer cushions are, they're the same for all three. There are so many elements that make them special. I'd love, Terry, if we can start with what's inside of them, because you guys took a lot of time and a lot of attention to make sure that they felt like the kind of furniture you're used to sitting on inside, that there was no compromising comfort. Can you explain what's actually inside that makes it feel like that?
Yeah, of course. So I'll put it here. Once when we started on the path of designing this, the first thing, and I think many of you have experienced, which is that when you sit on an indoor an indoor sofa or an outdoor sofa, immediately what you're sitting on. So I could blindfold you and put an indoor and outdoor, and I could ask you which one is the indoor and which one is the outdoor. And I would say 90% of the time, you'll get it right. So going on that design challenge, we went and started looking for different foams that were outdoor foams, to try to get that to repeat the ride, the sit quality, and couldn't get it. And then as we kept probing, we asked vendors, like, why do you use these cushions? It's like, it's a reticulated foam. It's designed in a way where it's open cell. They showed us, they took a cup, poured water through it, and the water drained through, and like it's so that it can drain through. So we said, well, why do you want the cushions to get wet? And that got us on the path. We have designed it almost like it's a Gore-Tex jacket. There is a waterproof, breathable barrier that covers the foam, so it protects it. And in doing so, it really opens up our palette of types of foams that we use. So it is designed much more like a foam mattress. So super comfortable, and I can attest. I'm at the office. Every time I come down to Santa Monica, I sleep. I don't go to a hotel. I actually sleep on our outer sofa. And
I love that so much.
So.
I love that so much. Yeah, and we're gonna move into questions, but I want to let everyone know one of the other elements that makes it so special is it's stain resistant. And if you guys head over to the outer Instagram page, there's a highlights reel of these hilarious spill tests of like black. I did one with black coffee, and there's like melted lollipops, and there's like ketchup. I mean, it's crazy. All these awesome spill tests, so you can actually see not only what's inside but what's outside is really innovative, and one of the many reasons that you're going to love your outer. I'd love love to get into some questions though, because I'm seeing them roll in and I want to make sure we hit as many as possible. Meredith Hackett, I love that they're reversible. Curious if the new pillows feel like the cushions. I can take that actually. They're not quite as dense. So they feel a little bit, I don't know what the word, and maybe you'll know more technically what that is, but the cushions feel much more dense. The back pillows aren't as dense as the seat, but even these feel a little more dense than these. They're just like a little more smushy and fluffy, and they feel really like you could like roll them up and kind of get cozy with them.
Yeah, they are, they're both made the same way with a blown fiber. So the actual materials are the same. It's just the densities of how much we put in are slightly different.
Ah, okay, cool. All right, let's see. What's our next question? All righty, Stephanie, question for Terry. I love the aluminum set. Is there going to be any, sorry, Sam, can you move the next question ready? I can't read the end of that.
Yeah, we are. I think it's side tables. We are working on side tables right now. Like we've always started with this idea of we want to design for solutions, and those solutions become platforms, and then we can grow those platforms. So our platform has been, we started with the all-weather wicker, the outer shell, and now we've increased to the teak and aluminum, and the same thing. We are starting to get into tables to coordinate with it, and so we are doing that. You probably see that.
Awesome. Oh, I can't wait for side tables. That's my favorite thing is when you like send me a text, you're like, we have a new product. I get so excited. And then when you guys come to the live streams, you're next up. You're the next new people to find out the new product.
That's right.
Okay, let's take a look at the next question. Alrighty, Eileen Decker also have a mildew question. I have a sofa and sometimes I want to roll up the covers morning after it rains, but I worry if there's some water. I'm assuming the rest of that question says she's worrying if there's water on them, that covering them up would create maybe some mildew.
It's, like if it is wet, it's always good to, hold on, it's quite loud. There's a motorcycle. It's oftentimes, like if something's wet, it's great to have the sun dry it out. The sun, the great thing about it is it's antibacterial. So like if you do have, whatever's on it that could build, it's like the sun will actually help it. And if you do build it, throw it in the wash. It's bleach friendly, cool. Bleach cleanable.
I saw one question that I want to answer super quick. Someone was saying, Orly, what do you like more, the white or the gray? Now that I have both. And I mean, wicker versus aluminum, it's like a Sophie's choice kind of a situation. So I love both for different reasons. I will say that the white to me instantly has such an amazing pop. And when Tabitha talked about the fact that she was able to just keep it looking clean with just a simple, leaf blower, I figured that was right for me. So I love the gray in the back because we eat out there and it kind of hides more, but out here it's really about lounging and it looks really crisp and it's like the right entrance to my home. So I love both, but it would be based off your lifestyle. Okay, so guys, I want to just remind you all about the sale that we have, the huge event, and then we're going to do the giveaway. I can't wait to find out who the lucky winner is. So just a reminder to all of you, everyone here has early access. So you have 48 hours of early access to the huge 4th of July event. It is a bundle. So if you guys were thinking about outer, now is the time to get all of the outer things you wanted. The amazing rug, the teak tables, the pillows, the couches, all the things, because the more you spend, the more you save. There's up to $1,000 off, which is just incredible. Perfect timing to build your summer oasis, or, this is what we've been talking about, building that backyard oasis. So now is the time. So you guys will get an email right after the live stream link. So make sure that you go take that email, head on over, take a look at the site 2 days before everybody else, which is very cool. And it's time for the giveaway. So just a reminder, this giveaway is the Conversation set. So it's an aluminum set. 2-piece, incredible, so sexy. I love it so much. And all of these incredible brands are a part of this. So this is a $5,000 like epic summer bundle giveaway. You are fully set for the summer, from everything from sunglasses to games to weekender bags and clothes, all sorts of good stuff. All right, Terry, the winner. Let's see who won. It sure is. It's my favorite. Maddie Yost. Congratulations. Maddie. Oh, I can't wait to see where Maddie is, where she's living, how she styles her collection, and all the fun things that were there. Guys, thank you so, so much for being here today. We appreciate you being with us every month. It's so fun. Make sure to continue to comment. If there's some things that you'd like us to talk about next month, topics you'd like to see us feature, comment them. We're going to keep seeing these comments as they come in. So we'd love to know and make sure that we provide a really great show for you guys every month. Terry, thank you so much. This was a blast.
It was. And let's hope next month we do it in person.
That's right. We will. We will. We're just going to do it. I'm just going to show up at your house, like I said.
You should.
All right, everybody. Have a beautiful week, and we'll see you guys very soon. Thank you.
See you next time.